Morning, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Gittimer, and I'm joined by my boss.
No, I'm Jen Gittimer. Hey, what's
How are you? And we're going to talk this morning to all of you out in 959 land about a very important topic. But it's a surprise, so
dun. Stay tuned.
Very, very important topic today. But I'll give you a clue. It has to do with Ben Franklin. And as soon as we hit the 50 mark, which we'll hit in about another 30 seconds, I will reveal the topic.
And by the way, we're recording Seller Die live
at the same time, yeah.
So make sure you ask questions and they will be answered as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So good morning. And Benjamin Franklin was big on two things. What made him famous was he was a thinker and a writer. Thinker and writer. His ideas were amazing. There's a statue dedicated to Ben Franklin when you come into Philadelphia about the famous kite flying incident where electricity was conducted into the who knows what. And as a result of it, we now have an electric bill. I think that's what it boils down to. But more importantly, he created a printing company, which is the oldest printing company in America, by the way, called the Benjamin Franklin Printing Company. It's in Philadelphia. And he printed his own stuff. He printed Poor Richard's Almanac, which was a sort of predictor of what's going to happen.
Do you have that? Do you have that?
Not with me, but yeah, I do.
Okay, just curious.
I have a bunch of them back in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'll show them to you one day. In the meantime, though, you can still buy Poor Richard's Almanac. Think about that. And he also wrote, not a big deal, just the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, you know. And
his writings were so intriguing, so ahead of their time, so informative, so clear that people have written biographies about Ben Franklin. People have written stories about Ben Franklin. He's just all over the place. I'll just say that. 300 years later.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm totally impressed.
Who's going to be talking about you in 300 years from now?
Yeah. Answer?
Huh?
Well, it depends on what you write. It depends on how you invest your time. Most people, unfortunately, do not think of themselves as a writer. I do. I'm not an author. I'm a writer. Writers write their own books. And sometimes authors will have someone help them. Just saying. And so the challenge for you is what have you written so far?
I think that people don't even, I think most people underestimate the amount of writing they can do in their lifetime.
That's meaningful.
And that they should be doing. And I wonder how many of you who are on the Facebook Live or listening on the podcast, if you have ever, taken the time to really write down your thoughts and share them with other people in a way that gets you feedback and in a way that gets you legacy and in a way that creates ideas and in a way that just snowballs into what it really could become. It's that ripple effect.
So here's the first question of the morning. And I know I'm looking at some of you here who have books already, but put a 1 in the box if you said to yourself, someday I'm going to write a book. Just a 1. And let that be a challenge to yourself. This is not information strictly for me. This is information for you to clarify yourself and think about where your expertise is, because that's where the book is going to roll to.
And you guys, because you're watching live, you're literally seeing behind the scenes making of the podcast. So Jeffrey's going to redo that entire thing, pretending like he's not talking to you, but he's talking to one listener, not all the listeners, one listener, because people listen to podcasts individually. They don't listen as a group. Think about the last time you were like, let me go over to your house and let's listen to a podcast. That doesn't happen, right? We put earbuds in our ear and we listen. So Jeffrey's going to redo that thought about asking if you've written a book, and he's going to talk to the listener on the podcast.
In other words, I just screwed it up.
Well, no, you were talking to Facebook Live because you're used to talking to Facebook Live every day.
All right, so
and right now, you guys are in on our live recording of the podcast. So we have to talk to you as if you're listening to our podcast.
Right. There's a lot of ones here, but you'll also see that Doug Wing is here and he's writing a book. Cynthia Mannion's here. She's writing a book. What are you doing that will, number one, clarify who you are as a person? Writing for me is clarification and it's expansion. Like I'll write something about who knows what. I wrote about Benjamin Franklin, and it's going to be the topic of tomorrow morning's exclusive Insiders Club message. It'll be about Ben Franklin because he inspired me as well. And he's an old school, they uses him as an example as an old school closing method called the Benjamin Franklin close. I mean, this guy's everywhere. And so I feel like there's a missing link with you, and that missing link has to be put into context best by writing. And right now, you don't even have to type. I'm a shit typer.
Jeffrey, so many people say, oh, but who am I to write a book? Or why would anyone want to read what I'm writing? Like what would make my thoughts different? People have already written about that. Why should I write about that? So let's talk about that and let's touch on that.
Okay. So write a paragraph this morning and put it on LinkedIn and see if anybody responds to it. And that will give you clarification that like, oh, my thoughts may be somewhat important. Or post something on Twitter, post something on Facebook to see what the reaction is like we're doing right now.
Yeah, I think the only issue with that I could see with that is if you don't have a big following and no one responds, you'll use that as an excuse to say, oh, well, see, there's more evidence that my thoughts don't matter because no one said anything, which in reality, all it could mean is that no one saw it because the algorithms didn't show it to anybody. That's all it could really, that is one meaning that you could make of it, but you can choose your own meaning. It's like choose your own adventure. People do choose their own meanings.
Just post it anyway. Just do it. Start to write for yourself that makes sense to you and put it up online and someone will find it.
For me, there's been an evolution of writing. So initially when I was writing, I thought I was writing for other people. I thought I was writing to give sales advice. And what in reality was happening was while I was doing that and impacting people, more than that, I was clarifying my own thought and being able to articulate exactly what I wanted to articulate in the fastest, best, most efficient way possible by continuing to write down my thoughts every day. And then it evolved into, oh, wow, now that I could say this even better, now it's even more impactful when I deliver the message to other people. And so I think that there's a distinction, like, but the thing is, I knew, well, I thought in the beginning my writing sucked. Like I hated it. I really hated it.
Someone told you that it sucked and you believed them like a fool.
Okay, that's true. My whole growing up life, I was told I was a bad writer. And I hated my own writing, but eventually I came to love it. And it's not always, like for Jeffrey, it's really natural. Like you wake up and you write lists and you do this and you do that. And it's so easy for you. I mean, you could write a book in
a week.
Oh, I was going to say 2 weeks, but he probably could write a book in a week. Okay. Me, it will take months to get a book as good as or close to as good as, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you're doing it, because that's what starts to create your legacy. That's what starts to create your reputation.
Exactly. And so you have to look at yourself as a thinker and an idea person, because that's all Ben Franklin did. He was a thinker and an idea guy, and he decided, hey, let me write this down. This is a pretty good idea. Let me write this down. You've all had a million ideas. You never even wrote them down. That's what absolutely blows me away. And let me share something with you about this thing. If you have too many comments, and you don't start at the beginning, you lose them. Facebook cuts them, or StreamYard cuts them, or something.
Got it. I was trying to get to the things that could be relevant so that we could talk about them on the show before we go to the other comments.
Go. So the challenge that you have is, what are you writing? And why are you writing it? And what does it mean to you? For those of you who put a 1 in the box, I'm going to write a book one day. Why don't you put a 2 in there if the first chapter is written? Just for the hell of it. You want to comment on somebody?
No.
You sure?
Yep. All good.
All right.
Yeah. And so what do you want the podcast listener to do? Because we're going to cut that part from the podcast. So what do you want the podcast listener to do if they don't have a box?
Oh. If you don't have a box, then...
No. Just start from like what they should do.
If you think you're going to write a book, and at some point in your life you say, I'm going to write a book, then there's only 2 words that are going to matter from this entire podcast. Start writing. Doesn't matter what you write. Wake up in the morning and write. I do every day. I've been waking up every day and writing for 25 years. This morning I was up at
6.
Yeah. And writing. And the reason I was writing is I had something to write for, but that doesn't matter. I had other ideas as I was writing and literally came up with the idea for this today.
I wonder what's preventing you from writing a book, because you could say, oh, I'll do it. But if you haven't, then something is holding you back from doing it.
Okay. And it's not just about you. You can impact somebody else's life in a way that significantly alters their thought process and their success if you put it in the right framework. And many, many of you have read a book that said, oh, this is life-changing for me. Many of you have. And that's the challenge. If you have an expertise, if you have an area where you really shine and you don't think anything of it, it may be important to somebody else. And that's why you start.
If you could impact just one person with your writing, just one, wouldn't it be selfish to not start writing?
Well, one's not going to sell a lot of books, but
but what if you could, but most people don't care about selling books. Most people who are writing care about making an impact. And so, yes, you want to sell books. You think there's money in books. There's no money in books, but there's money in what comes from books.
Right. Writing leads to wealth, period. And if you write enough, you get wealthy. I didn't think writing to me was like an avocation. Now it's a vocation, but it evolves.
Yeah, but that's the coolest thing is that people pick up your book for $15-$20, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they start to read your belief system, your knowledge, your intellect, all of that. They start to put it into practice, and now they want more.
Then they join the Untitled Club.
And that's where, like, for you, that's where the wealth comes from, is not just the book, which is more, it's the foot in the door. It comes from everything that snowballs after that. I think you said once that every dollar you've ever made.
Right. I can trace back to something I wrote. That's pretty impactful.
Yeah.
So the challenge that you have as a diehard is, don't sell yourself short. Sell yourself long, and put yourself in a winning position by simply documenting what it is that you're thinking and what it is that you're saying. That's the whole deal. If you can do that, you can win. And if you don't do that, you're not going to win.
And just to clarify, because someone said, well, there's money in books if you're Jeffrey Gitomer. What I meant by that is you're not going to become Jeff Bezos from selling your books. You're going to become wealthy from everything that comes after you write the book.
Yeah, and it's not...
The book is the beginning.
Okay, I make money selling books, but so does anybody. Don't self-publish. Try to get a publisher. That's thing number one. But there are paths. We can show you the paths if you're interested.
Yeah, that's what we do in the Writers Weekend. When you come here, it's pretty awesome, actually.
I think the best thing to do is put...
Yeah.
Where is it? This.
Oh.
If you're interested in really getting down and doing it, then email helpme@gittimer.com. That's the best way to play.
It is and let them know you're interested in the Writers Weekend. It is the most amazing weekend.
Yeah.
We love it. We really, really love it.
We do it here at the beach. It's fun. And it could be worse. You're at the beach. And today will be sunny and 75 for those of you in Minnesota.
Oh.
And so I think that the challenge that you have is, and the challenge that I'm trying to bring to this podcast is, you have it inside of you. All you have to do is either go to a keyboard or go to Siri or go to some Dragon Dictate like I use and start to talk about it. Start to talk about what's important to you and where your expertise is. That's where to start. I started with sales because I was good at it. And that led to an awful lot of things because I focused on it. I made it, it was a serious attempt for me. And I go back and read my first columns, and they were pretty crappy, actually. But you get better over time. You get better.
Well, it's like anything you do.
Yeah.
The first time you get on a bike, you might not be like the ultimate bike rider, but by the 10th time, you're riding that bike.
And the first time you might even bleed a little bit, but big deal. You rub dirt on it like you're supposed to, and you get back on the bike. Or you're on your mother, and she goes, get back on the bike. But whatever happens, you get back on your computer.
Oh man, I love it. All right. So we want to know what questions you have about writing a book, and we're going to get to those. But before we do, we're going to, at the moment, wrap up the podcast so we can say hi to all of you. Is that cool?
Okay, diehards. Yeah. Well, we've already lost all the comments on the first part, so nothing I can do about that.
Okay, diehard. Until next time, I'm Jen Gittimer.
And I'm Jeffrey Gittimer, and I'm reminding you to get out there and write something, even if your ass falls off.
We have all the comments. They start right there. So I just want to say, how different is this for you recording it live, and how, like, what do you feel like? Let's break it down for people, because there are a lot of things there that felt kind of awkward and weird because we're not doing it the way we used to do it, where we were just plain out record. So what is that like for you, Jeffrey?
What, to record the podcast live?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to think about it. I'm talking to one person instead of a group of people. And I'm going to talk to the group no matter if we have to edit or not. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's that important to make it singular. I think there's all kinds of things we can do. Yes, we have to edit out put a 1 in the box kind of thing. But I like the format, and I think it's really great that people are involved in it, and you can hear us do a podcast. Where the hell is your podcast? I'm going to give you the answer. It's not existing yet. If you were on at 9:59 and posted a 9:59 comment, could you repost it, please? Because I can only see what happens at 10. There were at least 20 things that are gone. Because people who are on first there's 20 posts at 9:59 every day. So if you did it, put it back in there. I'll try to say hey to you. In the meantime, this guy was first this morning. Randall was first at 9 and also first at 10. So there you go. Whatever your thought was, Randall, stick it back on there. And the Philippines is on, and Dylan is on, and Tall Tom is on.
Oh, fun.
Cool.
That'll be
that's
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's put that on the calendar. I'll be back home in Charlotte on Friday. I get Gabrielle on Friday. Maybe they can have a weekend kind of deal next weekend. Cool.
All right.
Reach out. I'll be there. 4 tops. There you go. Good morning to you, Cynthia, and everybody listening while driving today. Good. A lot of people listen while they're driving and don't come on.
Yeah.
And all the people that are here, hello, 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 hello. Boom.
Hello, Thomas. Thomas and I have been chatting it up. Hi, Charles.
Cool. Yeah, Thomas is a cool guy. Sweden, by the way.
Charles is cool too.
Yeah. No, Charles is not that cool.
He is cool.
No, he's way cool.
Oh, man. Ken Walls.
There's a nation. We have a nation now. I didn't realize that.
As a non-American, what does America think of Ben Franklin? I don't know. I only know what I think of him.
Well, there's a new thing out now. It's called Google. And you can
Google's
Google
kind of
passe.
no.
You can Google Ben Franklin and find out all kinds of stuff. That's what
No,
I
I was just going to say it's one-sided.
Little strokes fell great oaks. Exactly. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a million things. A penny saved is a penny earned.
Mm-hmm.
And he had probably 100 major quotes. If you go to Google or wherever you go to get yours, if you go to DuckDuckGo, you can get your Benjamin Franklin quota every single morning. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. That's cool. That's totally cool. My son, give attention to my wisdom. Incline. Oh, cool. See, Charles Coachman always has something.
I love it.
I know, me too. It. Good morning, 959ers from Florida. Who else has a Ben Franklin quote? For every sale you miss. Reminiscing about guys and dolls wrote, "Where's the action?" This is so
cool. He linked to your article.
I know. I love this.
I love that.
Hold on. Eternal life and build trust. When you see a guy reach for stars in the sky, you can bet that he's doing it for some gal. That's all I'm saying. Monday.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian. How you doing, bud? Oh, see all the people. I've never let my schooling interfere with my education. I lived for 18 years around the corner of Ben Franklin's grand experiment. Isn't that cool?
Cool. Totally cool.
Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Jim.
Jim, yeah, exactly.
I love it.
A bird in the hand is very messy, Ben Franklin. You know, in your, unfortunately, the statue at the top of the Philadelphia City Hall is William Penn, but Ben Franklin is way more famous, in my opinion.
Hi, Eric. Right on. I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
This guy's smart. The great Brad Beck, BB. Take possession of your own mind. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things that are here, people are inspired to give messages when they hear messages. Jeffrey, got the books. Thank you so much. Ray, my pleasure.
Cool.
Cool. That's good. Yep.
Stu
Another
from
Canadian.
Mount Pleasant, you're on my list to email today. Woo woo.
Come on. Well done is better than well said. Ben Franklin. Exactly correct. Good morning from sunny Arizona, working on book number 1, The Great Doug Wing.
Doug's book is going to be amazing.
Doug has his office now. It's like, this is like the coolest thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And did you see our guest bedroom? Doug set up our bedroom.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Cool. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Look at all the ones.
I love
one,
it.
one, 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 one. Good morning, 1, 1, 1, 1.
I love it. Everyone wants to write a book.
Right.
Well, what's stopping you? Put it in there. What is stopping you from writing a book?
Decent earthquake earlier this morning.
Oh, no.
It's just a little rattle. They have them all the time.
Yeah.
One day you'll wake up and it'll be Vegas. That's where the beach will start. I love that kind of stuff. So, Fred, Benjamin Franklin, founder of my alma mater, University of Pennsylvania in West Philadelphia, founded in 1740. Oh. It's in the near West Philadelphia, not the hard West Philadelphia. The hard West Philly starts around the 50s. The near West starts around the 30s. So, you know, Franklin Field, they still named it after him. And I mean, he's omnipresent in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Totally omnipresent. Everything.
300.
Oh.
Yeah, it would. It would.
So, he gave while he was not waiting to take. Whoa. Whoa.
I love that.
The ones are still pouring in.
Yeah, I love that.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, my God. Oh, hi, AJ. Sleeping. Look at Ken. I literally just received my author copies of my new book journal about 15 minutes ago. Woo! I can't wait to see them. That's so exciting.
This is amazing. I love it.
Mm-hmm. You guys better go get a copy.
Never
But it's
thought
amazing.
seriously about it until you dropped a piece of sand in my oyster. Wow, that's a really good one, by the way. We're going to keep that. Dropping a piece of sand in somebody's oyster is what leads to pearls. Also, from Guys and Dolls, take back your mink, take back your poils. Guys and Dolls seems to be omnipresent this morning.
Oh my God.
I know, it's a classic song though. Best quote I got, lost time is never found again.
Yeah.
That's so good. Way to go, Boston Joe. One-ish. Wait, I'm not sure I can write a book. That's what everyone thinks. There's a book in everybody. And it's not just writing the book. It's who do you impact and what's your legacy? What are your kids going to say at your funeral? My dad said he was going to write a book one day, but it never happened. Boom. Just saying. Ben Franklin said, to succeed, jump quickly at the opportunities as you do at conclusions. Whoa. Whoa, that's powerful, dude. Love that. Steve Kelly Pro, how's it going, bud? My new book Start is on the way. I encourage everyone to have a weekly meeting with themselves and write what they're grateful for, what went well, what didn't go well, and more importantly, what you will do differently.
Cool.
Kelly's a good guy, by the way.
I like the idea of having a meeting with yourself. I do it every morning.
Yeah.
I do. My morning time.
I
wrote a book, says Jack Dillon. Awesome.
Yeah, Dylan's good. That's
Joe, it's good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Joe.
exactly. 7.5, take action every day. Only takes 10 or 15 minutes away. Give it Little Red Book of Sales Answers. I love that book.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Renee is working on her 7th book.
About
wow,
love and
I
relationships.
love that. Go, Renee.
It took me actually 4 to get it right with love and relationships, but that's a whole other story.
4th time's a charm.
But thank you for joining the Insiders Club.
Yes.
Happy to have your wisdom there.
Yeah. Renee and I have been messaging. She had to say goodbye to her doggy.
Finding love in a virtual world for women.
So you love Renee.
Exactly. And great title too. I see people are already jumping at you. I've been told to write a book, but only because I had such a wild
life.
life.
What are you waiting for, Jeffrey?
Exactly. Brilliant. Look at that.
Oh my God, I love it.
What a picture. And everyone who's out here, there's all kinds of people that are saying hi to everybody. And to Rue, good evening, sir. How are you? Everything all right? We're fine over here. We're having a good time. We're having a very good time. And Taru just hangs, you know, shows up every day. People say hey to him every single day. You get shout outs all over the place. Don't know who that is, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe she's tagging someone who needs to.
Oh, that could be. So this is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Alonso, Idea Logbook has been great. Alonso, if you don't write a book, I'm coming to your house and beating you up.
Hold on. Go ahead, Charles. Charles, people need to hear your voice.
I must be more intentional about writing.
Yes, you have stuff to say. I know you.
Salespeople are intentional about selling. And that's one of their major flaws, I think. I think you need to be intentional about helping and writing. You do those two things, you're going to win. In fact, let's talk about intentional about buying. Erica, Rebecca, Stacy, and Jennifer have all bought properties within the last year or so, and they all wrote the seller a letter telling them why they would be the perfect person to own and live in this house. They were never the highest bidder. All 4 of them won the you were? No. 3 out of 4 of them won.
But like
They loved it.
I was the highest bidder by like $300. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like, and the guy could have chosen other people. They had
Right.
a better, standing than I did, but they chose us. The
There's
letters
something
make
to
a
writing.
difference.
Exactly. I learned the Ben Franklin sales method from Tom Hopkins back in the 80s. Drop it. Or Janice, I'm going to give you the new Ben Franklin close tomorrow morning on the Insiders Club. Just saying. If you're not a member of the Insiders Club, you're going to miss a very, very important closing strategy in sales. Maybe one of the most powerful ones I can give you will happen tomorrow morning, 9:59, exclusively on the Insiders Club.
Can we skip down to this for a second?
Sure.
So Thomas says maybe the first chapter is the most difficult. Go for it.
The reason the first chapter is the most difficult is because you haven't fleshed out the idea yet. Just sit down and write about anything, about what the content of the book would be, who would benefit from the book, and then all of a sudden the first chapter is going to be easy.
Yeah, I was going to say if the first chapter seems so difficult, start with the second.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
No, but like literally start with just walk and talk and dictate it into your phone, but start with whatever seems easiest to talk about.
I would also say that this is pretty interesting. The first million is the hardest to make, so just start on the second.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I launched my first book, Banish Burnout Toolkit. Oh, cool. Way to go.
that is very cool.
Way to go.
That is very cool. Mark says Insiders Club homework. Go down to that.
Back in 2014, Jeffrey wrote a building benchmark.
That's great. I love that, Mark. Thank you for popping that in there. Well done.
Boom. And let's get Lisa to get that one. Can you?
Yeah.
Hold on. We have a strategy now of making all this happen. And watch how easy this is. I can go right here. I can go right here. And I can go to 2 other people and look who the 2 people are. Let's see. Oh, it's Lisa. And boom. And done. So I'm going to start with chapter 3. Wing, you doing all right, bud? We need to know you're doing fine. You're in Arizona all by yourself. Come to Charlotte. Come to the beach. You're welcome here.
We've already.
There's money in books if your name is Jeffrey Gitomer. No, there's money in what happens after the book is in your hands. That's where the money is.
Hi, Anne. Anne and I are chatting this week. I'm so excited.
Cool. Riley, what's up? When you write first thing in the morning, it's a clearing, or are you writing on a subject? It's both. A subject will come from the clearing. Always. It has never failed me.
Same.
Huh?
Same.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just start by getting my thoughts out, and then from my thoughts, I'm like, ooh, let me talk more about that.
The one person that my writing a book would affect more than any other person would be me. That's exactly right. Because what happens is you're going to take a box of books that come to you from the publisher. You're going to open up the box of books for the first time. You're going to cry. I can promise you it's just unbelievable.
Exactly. And it's what happens after the book. I like to have these very big polarizing statements, and then people get hung.
Yeah.
They're like caught up on the but there's no money in books. There's a ton of money in what happens after the book, people. A ton of money.
So far, I'm doing fine. I'll just say that.
Oh, man. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And not just perpetual. It is the value things. The things
Oh, you're saying perpetual.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Somewhere, look at all these comments that came in after Kim Walsh. We were out of comments.
Wow.
Boom. Well said, Jen.
Thanks, Janice.
Delightful to have Jen here. Yes, it is.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
I get to say that every day, even if she's not on the.
Let it bleed. Oh, because we were talking about the bike.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jeffrey has written many books, but ultimately he has written a million notes, thoughts, and pages that became books. That is exactly correct. That is exactly correct.
Eddie, this is really well said.
Yeah.
Jeffrey writes on everything, and we can't throw anything away. Like if Jeffrey takes this piece of paper and scribbles on it, it's now like, no, it's someone's credit card information. But
if there's red on it, we
can't throw it away.
Exactly. Thank you, Eddie. So Jeffrey got the books. Oh, cool. You're welcome.
We love the format. Cool.
The format's good.
Yeah.
The format's really good. If you're strong enough, there are no precedents. Whoa.
That's good. Cynthia, I called you this morning, so I'm looking forward to connecting.
And an idea not coupled with an action will never get any bigger than the brain cell it occupied. Mm-hmm. Arnold Glasgow, I'm assuming he lives in Scotland. Clothes are one of my trademarks. I experiment constantly with new styles. However, I do not believe in overstepping the bounds of good taste. Dare to be different, Elmer Letterman. There's a book called The 12 Master Salesmen in America, and you see 11 pictures on the cover of guys and one woman wearing traditional sales clothing and one guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a straw hat. Go figure, right?
Oh, man.
And he's on the cover of the book.
Look, I love David's question. How do you go from the written document to publishing? Dun, dun, dun.
You come here for the weekend.
So in the writer's workshop, just FYI, because some of you might not know this, we actually bring in 2 publishers to meet with you. They talk about the publishing process. They give you their contact information, which they would never do. They do this because they literally love Jeffrey. Last time one of them showed up in person, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But usually they're here by Zoom, and they give you all the information you would ever need to know about writing a book proposal, getting through to a publisher, maybe even making them your publisher. But that's not, guaranteed. But yeah. And so I would say if you're looking to get your book published, you really need to think about your intention. So what do you want from a publisher? What do you want? Are you looking for distribution? Are you looking for that advance? Are you looking for them to sell your books? Because they don't do that.
And some people just use it as a business card.
Right. But like if he's asking, how do you get to publishing? So first think about why you want it to get published, and is a publisher the best route for you,
mm-hmm.
which it may be. And then if it is, there's all sorts of book proposals that you can create that you submit to publishers, or you can shortcut it and come to the writer's weekend.
There are, if a publisher takes your book and prints it, which basically is what they do, there's a possibility it will end up in a bookstore. But if it sells well, they'll start to promote it. If it sells well, they will start to promote it.
Kind of crazy, isn't it?
I know. Lost time is never found again, Ben Franklin. Isn't that cool?
He was a thinker and a mentor. I love that.
And a thinker. Yeah. Exactly. This is cool to see. Put on the podcast. I'm doing it. Good. I hope you do. Sunny, warm Florida, and Tall Tom, Julia 10, Jacob 7, both are in the office with me today.
2 minutes. Oh, thank you, kids. We love it, Julia
Boom.
and Jacob. That's awesome.
Julia, you're going to have a real good time with Gabrielle. She's a little older than you, but I'll tell you what.
Animal Crossings is Animal Crossings.
Exactly.
She knows some good tricks.
Isn't that cool?
We got to get your own BitClout coins. Okay, let's do it, Justin.
So we're going to go now. We're way past our stop time.
Yes. Yeah, I got to get to tennis. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
You guys take care of yourself. Never confuse motion with action. Ben Franklin. Whoa.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, the Ben Franklin quotes roll.
The Ken Walls. A penny saved is a penny.
No. All right.
Oh, man.
My favorite Ben Franklin quote. Good evening, ladies.
Oh
my God.
Oh, I love it.
What's Renee got to say?
She quoted you. Don't sell the product. Don't sell the service. Sell the appointment. They can't push a contract or check through the phone. Just sell the appointment.
Cool.
I love it.
All right.
Hi, Tammy. That's my no Ken Walls. Doug Wing's guest room is for us. He made it for us. Exactly. We know this.
We helped him pick out the furniture because I wanted shit I wanted.
All right. We'll share it. We'll have it every other week.
An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Exactly. Let me tell you who studied Benjamin Franklin. Warren Buffett.
Interesting.
Yep.
And Tammy's been reaching out about her stuff that we have to look at her email.
Okay.
And get back to her.
We can do it.
Yes.
All right, you guys, we're going to go now.
I already bought my copy of Ken's life-changing journal.
What's the link to Ken Walls?
Oh, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well done. All right. Bye.
You guys take care of yourselves. Hasta mañana. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I think at 9:59. Not 100% positive.
In the Insiders Club only.
On the
in the
Insiders
Facebook group for Insiders Club. For
So
those of you looking for it, it's not in the Kajabi. Jeffrey goes live in the Insiders Club on Facebook.
I would go here if I were you.
If you haven't purchased it, if you are a member, go to the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers.